Today, it's about building the roof. We're going to have it falling backwards to the back of the building, so the guttering is going to be at the back. There's furring pieces going on, there's 6x2s going on, there's OSB going on, and Bradders is going to teach you exactly how to do it.
So we are just putting in a central beam. So obviously where this is like just over 5 meters long, obviously the span of the timber, that would need to be probably like an 8 or a 9x2 for that. Because we want to keep the timbers running the same way, we're going to put a central beam in still, but do it out of 2 timbers. So we're going to double 2 timbers, bolt them together, and then we're going to joist hang off of that central beam to the front and back. Yeah, so I'm just working out the width, but now I've got to work out the overhang. So basically at the moment what we've done is we've taken a measurement from OSB from here, the OSB on this side to the OSB on that side. But obviously missing from the 2 sides is the batten and the render carrier board. So I'm just adding that on, which gives us the 2774. So that's what we need to cut our timber at. Just double check, check twice, cut once.
Well, we're doing 2 bits of timber, so we're going to cut twice.
We're also going to do another little detail on the roof here. So obviously, as you can see around that way, the wind could come straight off of the sea, couldn't it?
It does. This is terrible for wind.
Generally, a joist hanger would obviously be fitted that way. You'd fit it onto there, and then obviously your timber in there. But where that wind could come straight up there and take the roof off, we're going to do an upside down joist hanger. So it'll go over our roof timber, come down, and then brace onto our front beam that we've got going in over the doors. So if that wind was now to come up under there, you're not just relying on the nails of what you put into the timber at the top. So you've got extra support. What I've done now is I've measured back. So obviously where we wanted our 200mm overhang, obviously, but I'm going to put a timber all the way down the outside. So I've took 45 off for that. That then leaves us our 12mm for the render carrier board and our 25mm batten. So then I've drawn a line there. And once I put that up, I know that's to the outside of the OSB to make sure that the overhang is good and both sides will be the same once we fix it up. So I drew a centre line of the building before we measured this. So if you see that centre line there that I've done, so I usually just draw a line and put a C for it. So you know that's your centre line. And then we know that this centre part of our beam needs to be in the line with that pencil mark, and then we'll be bang in the middle of the building. So that's that part. So then what we're going to do is, obviously now we'll have the roof rafters coming off of this beam, one for the front and then out the back. So it's a bit like a spine really. This goes through the middle of the building and then the roof will come off of that in both directions. So these are 90mm nails, galvanised, just obviously where they're outside. Yeah. And then we use the 63mm ones for the OSB and the battens to put on, fixing into the timbers that we put on first. One spine fitted. So you can see a bit like what we was doing with the walls. So that one's going to be the edge, so I want one right against the edge again. So if this was being plasterboarded, you've got a timber all the way down the edge to fix your plasterboard into. Because if you've got one over there, that's no good. Plasterboard's going to be too bouncy over there. So then from there, 400 centres. Keep working your way along. So I've done a little pencil mark, just square it up on there so you know your timber's going to be straight, and then follow the process on all the way over. See, I've drawn my square line, so when you're trying to hold that up in a minute, you're trying to make sure that before you nail it, you're in line with your square line and try and make this flush on the bottom there. So again, if it was being plasterboarded, that's all nicely flush, because if that drops down a bit, you're going to send a little kink in your plasterboard. So just a little tip for you. If you just cut some little bits of batten and then just screw that onto there. So as you can see there, Ben, that bit that we was just talking about. So now when it comes to installing that, easy as that to hold it there, rather than you think if that wasn't there, you'll be like, oh, up a bit, down a bit. Whereas now you just push that over, get it over to your square line, grab your nail gun, and fixed. Easy as that, no strain. Now once you've taken that off, you know you're nicely in line there for the plasterboard. Just a tiny little hack, very simple but very effective. That's it, exactly the same process as we did on the back. Yeah. Just makes light work of it. Yeah. So just putting all the hangers on now. So if you see on the other side, we've put all of them ones on. Just got another 4 to go on this side, but just want to get all them on before I walk on the roof. So obviously you've got to put the furring and stuff on, but until you put them on, it doesn't feel as stable. So it's always good to put them on first before you go up there. So just a little tip on the joist hanger, they obviously come like that when you buy them in the shop. If you put that on like that, it's quite hard work to try and straighten that up. So before you put that up there, just try and straighten it up so it's roughly the shape of the timber before you put it up there. And it just makes for when putting it on so much easier, because now that's naturally sitting in position for me rather than fighting it bending out each way. But yeah, nearly there. A few more to go and then we'll be good to put the fairings on.